At the end of every day, look at yourself in the mirror and ask, did I get better today? Monday, get better. Tuesday, get better. Wednesday, get better. If you do that for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, how much better will you be? Are you getting better every single day? That's the real question. And it all comes down to taking small steps. You don't have to accomplish everything in one day or even 1 week. Just focus on getting a little better every single day.
And we're back with another episode of Real Estate AF, where the AF stands for Ann Finance. And I'm your host, Mark Jones, and we are powered by LoanBot, now improved with AI features. And today we had a guest that did not end up joining us. He had some things going on, but the show must go on. So today I'm joined by Matt Reyna, a previous guest of mine, and also someone that uses the podcast studio and has done a phenomenal job of growing his podcast in a short period of time. So without further introduction, Matt Reyna, how you doing, man?
Well, I guess I'm old faithful.
There you go. That's right.
If I stick around in the studio, good things happen.
Amen to that. Yes. So we've got plenty to talk about. And a couple of the things I want to start with is your journey of this podcasting world.
Man.
For those that know Matt, you know him as a realtor, entrepreneur, very hard worker, and now also a podcaster. For those of you that don't know him, well, you're about to hear a little bit about his journey right now going through this. So, Matt, tell me a little bit about yourself, and then we'll go into that part of it.
Well, about myself, like you said, real estate entrepreneur. I've been in real estate about 13 years now. This is my 13th year.
Okay.
I've been in sales all my life.
Yeah.
Started off at Radio Shack.
Hey,
back in the day. I don't even know if a lot of your listeners know what Radio Shack is, but
probably not. Like, what the heck?
Yeah. So that was my first sales job when I was 18 years old. And that's when I got the sales bug in me. After that, went to Gold's Gym, sold cars, and then eventually got into real estate.
Very good.
Now, that journey, man, it's been all over the place, as you know. I think I got in real estate in 2014, something like that.
So 2 years after me.
Oh, okay.
I was 2012. What is that? May of 2012 is when I got in and signed my life away.
That's when you got suckered in.
Well, you know what? I can't even say that suckered in because I'm in love with this game.
Oh, man.
Through and through, the ups and the downs, the incredible stress that we go through dealing with consumers, finances, advising on the biggest purchase of their life, and everything is contingent upon us most of the time, So it's been a cool journey, and I'm glad I'm still doing it.
Man, I was just talking to my brother Xavier about, he's a business owner right now as well, and right now he's going through the growing pains.
Sure,
it's about 3 years in.
Okay.
So that a lot of businesses don't even make profit within the first 5 years.
Yep.
And obviously, you go through those peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times, man, you just it's hard to just kind of stick with it.
Yeah.
And the ones that I think stick with it do have a passion and a love for what they do.
Yeah. You almost have to, because at a certain point, there comes a time where the stress level gets so high, the amount of things, but mind you, if you do it right, the amount of tasks, things that you have on your plate, the responsibility that you have for other people below you, etc. If you don't have some bit of love for it, it's easy to get out.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to go do something else, especially in, let's say, for us, for instance, in a market like today, where limited transactions, the ones that are actually closing, are very tough. And in many cases, we're having to drag that buyer along. It's very easy to look back and go, wow, it's been 6 months, 7 months, and I've only closed 4 deals type concept. I could go back to my previous job, what have you.
Sure.
But I think it has a lot to do with the love of the game.
Yeah,
go for it.
I agree 100%. And what I was telling him is, I was like, man, I want you to do something that you love and something that you're passionate about, because days like today, months like we're in, and then also, maybe the valleys like we're in right now, that's what gets you through.
Yeah.
The love that you have for it, and being able to do it, not like almost with your eyes closed, because I tell people that this is just a part of me now. This is what I do.
Yeah.
So it's not even necessarily like if I'm, putting on my boots, getting my lunch pail and going to work. It's I wake up and it's something real estate related. I'm working on a deal. I'm working on financing the deal or whatnot. It's funny, man, that you mentioned that, like dragging your customer or your client to the finish line, because I have one that's going on right now.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you could go through life and even through a sale just thinking like it's not going to happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I don't subscribe to that type of like thinking.
I love that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I say that the coin's flipping.
Okay.
You think it's going to land your way or not? And he's like, nah. You know what I'm saying?
I totally get it.
And I'm like, dude, like, come on, man. Like, have a little faith that it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, too, man, it can. Me and you, you know, we're actually working on something. Remember, and I got a little pessimistic about it a couple of weeks ago, and I remember you were telling me that, I mean, you're doing everything that you could possibly do to this point. Now it's out of your hands.
Correct.
You know, and even if it doesn't fall in your favor, you did everything that you should do. So there should be some type of solace in that.
Absolutely. And in addition, there's a little bit of gratitude and pride that you should take in going down the road in any kind of journey. The whole idea is not giving up.
Definitely.
And for you in this case scenario that we're talking about, you haven't given up. It's just there are roadblocks that need to be knocked down, and we're in the process of knocking those down so that we can proceed. And even if there was another hurdle that popped up, the mindset that was built based on the, let's call it landmines that you've stepped on throughout this journey is what you've gained in value to be able to proceed.
I used to say that there's no such thing as wasted time, you know, because it's going to teach you one thing, one way or the other, you know, or many things. You know, and I was telling him, just promise, because we kind of hash it out sometimes. He's a personal friend of mine. Yeah. And he was like, man, you know, you're telling me to do this, you're telling me to do that, and yet I do not have a guarantee that it's going to happen.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I can't do that. You know, only the lender can do that at a particular point within the transaction. I said, just do me a favor. Do not give up.
That's right.
Because I'm not going to give up on you, and I'm not going to give up on the deal, but you don't give up. And I promise you, I'm going to get you in this home.
That's right.
You know, and sometimes that's kind of what it takes. Going back to what were we talking about?
No, you're elaborating on this concept of the transaction that you had that is pretty difficult, and the customer itself is at the point where they're at a crossroads. Do I continue and have faith in these people that are advising me, or do I give up? And typically what that means is I'm going to give up on the whole thing for a little while.
Oh, okay. Well, let me ask you this now.
Yeah.
I know where I was going with that concept now. How do you think that makes or breaks people in our industry? Being on our side. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to deal with this part.
Yep.
You know, they're like, you know what? I thought that this was going to be a little bit different. This is a lot harder than what I thought it was going to be. And this is not what I signed up for.
Sure. No, that's a great point. And I think it all begins, and no offense to realtors out there, but it all begins with the lender. If they're financing, if they're paying cash, hey, that's on the buyer and their ability to stroke a check, the property and its passing of inspections. And hopefully you're getting an inspection, even if you're paying cash type concept. But the lender is the one that is supposed to set the expectations up front, good, bad, or indifferent. One thing that I pride myself in is letting the borrower know up front that, hey, this is going to be a challenge. And here's what we're up against. You're game to move forward, correct? Yes. So that it's not a surprise to them. They've already mentally prepared for it, for the challenges, for the hurdles that are going to come in way of, oh shit, I didn't know I had to provide that. Okay. Well, we didn't either. It's because you provided this that now leads to more things that coincide with that. And I think a lot of lenders are painting rainbows and unicorns to their borrowers when they should just be honest up front.
And I'm going to be 100%. I'm going to tell you who it is after we get off.
Sure.
As far as, you know, the builder that it's with.
Yeah.
But obviously they're tied into their lender.
Of course.
And they suck, you know, and they're not giving, you know, proper expectations, or they're not setting proper expectations, and they're not giving updates the way that they should. And that's what's frustrating them the most.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
see, and
I agree
100%. I've got a very short list of lenders that, in my opinion, can compete with non-builder lenders. One of them is Casey Hampton. She'll tell you like it is, and she works her ass off to get her borrowers to the finish line, sets proper expectations up front. Can't speak for many of the others, but I do know that lender working for the builder has more deals that are coming in that they've got to work on that may be less difficult.
Correct.
That they're going to then give their attention to.
100%.
Do you get what I'm saying?
All day, every day.
Whereas a mortgage banker, mortgage broker, where's the next one? When's the next one going to come?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to work my ass off on this one and to make sure that this is going to end up crossing the finish line.
As a matter of fact, we got an update it was this week. It was Monday. Yeah. Yesterday. And they told us kind of in so many words, hey, we got more important deals.
Right.
And yeah, pretty much I'll let you.
I believe you.
We got more pressing issues. We are closing in September. Take it easy, basically. Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Is the home not ready?
The home's not ready.
Okay.
Yeah. But at the same time, too, it's been so much ups and downs. A lot of people can't deal. Oh, that's where I was going with it. That not only can the buyers not kind of deal with that, but I think a lot of times the sales consultants and realtors are just like, yeah.
Because they've got another one.
True.
They've got another one coming in the door that they call it cherry picking, essentially. And shame on them. But
you think a lot of agents and sales consultants are in the position to cherry pick right now?
I do still think so.
Wow.
And the reason being is there is still, in the grand scheme of things, limited inventory in the pre-owned, especially in a certain price range.
Okay.
So you also have, and again, not to shit on realtors. We love you. We love you. But there are a lot of realtors that don't ask the proper questions to get to know their borrower up front to determine whether new construction is the best route or not for them. They just go, oh, you want to be in that payment? Great. Let's go drop you off at the builder.
For sure.
And therefore, the builder's lenders do not communicate with the realtors the same way a mortgage banker or broker does.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because they don't need to focus on building a relationship with you. They just need to get that borrower across the finish line or not.
Not to mention this particular lender's out of state. So there's
very little communication.
There's time difference. There's, I didn't get that call. I didn't get that email. And it's just, it's going back to what I was saying earlier, man, that you really have to have thick skin when it comes to this business.
Sure.
And you have to be able to kind of roll with the punches.
For sure.
Because, and then also too, you got to make lemon out of lemonade, man, because it's going to be like this. So going all the way back to my brother, I'm like, dude, you need to make sure.
Before you do,
go ahead.
Sometimes you got to punch back too.
Oh, sure. Yeah. No,
sometimes you got to punch back.
Uh-huh.
And what does punching back look like? Being honest, being transparent, being the person that is going to tell them the truth when everybody else has lied to them, to tell them what they want to hear, to possibly get a sale, but possibly getting a sale isn't getting a sale. It's kind of throwing the file up against the wall, hoping that it sticks. And that's not a way to run a business or to grow your business either. So go ahead, back to your brother.
Well, I was saying, whenever you're going to run into situations like this, no matter what you do, so you better love what you do.
Yeah.
Because these are the difference makers to kind of determine whether you want to keep on moving forward or not. And he's at a crossroads right now where he's just like, man, is this really for me?
Right.
Because I keep on saying, man, you need to go towards your passion. Because if it's your passion and you love to do that, you love to help people, then it doesn't seem as much as a strenuous process.
Right. I mean, you're on the money. This lifestyle, so to speak, doesn't quite feel like a job. I work with people that I love. I help people that I know not only are needing this, but I know that each one, I had a hand in changing the course of their life, their future, their what have you.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, I put a post out last week, kind of poking fun at the idea of being a realtor or a lender is semi like speed dating if you're doing it the wrong way. Sure. Why? Because typically you've got a 30 to 45 day window that you communicate with this borrower. You talk to them every single day, buyer, seller, etc. And then after the transaction closes, that's that for most of them. Whereas the closing for many others that do a great job and are able to work their book of business and get business from their book of business, treat that closing as kind of the entry point to the rest of their life.
Yeah, I was going to say that it's kind of like a benchmark for future business.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you were mentioning something about it being kind of like part of your life. You wake up and this is kind of what you do. Transitioning into the podcast, I remember Joe Rogan was hitting his stride, and there's only been few things in my life that I saw and I was like, that's what I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
I've never felt that pull.
And I will tell you, as we're leading into this conversation, just speaking with you, because it's been a while since you and I have sat across each other on mics in the studio.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Oh, yeah.
Totally different. Not only are you able to control the conversations, articulate your points and getting those across, you're also able to pivot without any kind of hiccup. So, dude, hats off.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Man. So tell me more about that, because I've been with you through this journey, and it's a lot that goes into it. A lot of people think that it's just sit down, press record, and you're good.
Man,
take me through that.
Well, you know what? That's what took me so long to finally get it started. And guys, I'm gonna give y'all a quick story. I did a real estate video, right? And I was on the south side of San Antonio saying, hey man, this is where I'm from. This is what I want to do. And in that video, I was trying to hold myself accountable by putting my goals and my aspirations out there. And I said, I'm finally going to start the podcast. And you talk to some of my friends, man, I've been talking about having a podcast for more than like I said, when Joe Rogan hit his stride. So it was more than 10 years at that point. And everybody was like kind of getting tired.
Like,
seriously.
Already,
yeah, man. Yeah. And it was funny too, because I was even kind of getting tired of my own, my own bullshit. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to put it out there. Yeah. And so that way I could hold myself a little bit more accountable. And I don't know when's the last time me and you had talked before that. I think we had probably
been a little while.
Played poker. Yeah. Probably. So Mark reaches out. Cool the way that you are, man. And you're like, hey, so tell me about this podcast. What's going on? And I'm like, I'm just kind of giving the same deflection. Well, I still need to get my cameras. I still need to do this. I still need to do that. I have a place that I want to do it. I have something in mind. And mind you, Mark, I've been thinking about this, man, for this whole time. So I have this concept of the way that I wanted to look.
Makes
and
perfect
I wanted
sense.
The way that I wanted the angles to look, the way that I wanted the lighting to look, everything. I didn't want it to look cheap. Yeah. I didn't want it to look like we're just doing it with our phones.
Absolutely.
Which a lot of people are just like, dude, just start. Just start, man. It doesn't matter. And I was just like, no. And God works in mysterious ways, man. And I believe in God's timing. And you messaged me, no, you're going to start now.
Yeah. I'm like, sounds like a whole bunch of excuses to me.
No, you're going to start now. And I'm like, okay, how are we going to do this? And you said, whenever I'm not in my studio, you're going to be in my studio. You just have to promise me one thing, that you're not going to stop. And I was like,
right.
If you allow me to use that studio, like the one that you're in, I was like, dude, I thought you were going to put me in another room or something.
No, hell no.
I thought like you had like a little, like a B studio or something. And I was like, if you allow me to use that, I will be there next week.
Yeah.
And I basically off to the races from there. And I've always kind of just played tricks in my mind of the way that I wanted to talk and the way that I wanted to introduce things and the way I wanted to do. So it kind of, I just kind of hit the ground running a little bit. I mean, of course, there's a learning curve.
Yeah, of course there's a learning curve.
It was weird to begin with.
Yeah.
But I was just saying it on the other podcast that Kobe says, I've been visualizing this for so long. Yeah. For so long that when it's finally here, it's more like, yeah.
It feels like this is where I'm supposed to be.
For sure. Yeah. Not like, I think they're asking him after the three-peat.
Okay.
Which is like this monstrous accomplishment. Right? And he was just like, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, yeah. So, man, it all happened when it should have. Then also, too, at that point in my life, 10 years ago, I don't think I was ready for a podcast.
That makes sense. And everything does happen when it's supposed to happen, regardless. I mean, you can force things in many cases, but when doing that, it doesn't feel natural.
Exactly.
I mean, for me in my journey of this thing, I get the idea. I'm going to do the idea until it fails. And then when it fails, I'll figure it out from there because I already started type concept. So we did start with the iPhone cameras and, oh God, it took forever to edit one episode, etc. But I'm sure there are people that are like, well, what's Mark getting out of this? Nothing. The gratitude that my studio's being used, someone is actually bettering themselves to get another message, whatever that message is on your podcast, on your platform.
Definitely.
That way you can take it to see whatever it is that it goes from there. And what do I want to be a part of? nothing. I want to be the guy that you said, hey, he helped me get started. That's it.
Man. I thank you, man, so many times. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity. And it's doing something that I did not anticipate happening.
Yeah.
So I watch Joe Rogan
Same.
and Vlad TV. I've told you about Vlad, right?
Absolutely.
It's more of like a hip hop type of thing, but now he's interviewing people in all walks of life, right? Just anybody with an interesting story.
Yeah.
So I was always like, I'm going to be the Joe Rogan of San Antonio. That's what I kind of felt like. But, and the concept that I had was that, but Joe Rogan interviews like, I mean,
off the wall people,
Elon Musk,
every
Steven Tyler, James Hetfield, like
yes.
Ice Cube, like then
he'll have a sex therapist on.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. So what I loved about it is that he's interviewing anybody who he finds interesting.
Correct.
Well, I was thinking to myself, well, I have the catalog of people that I find interesting. It just so happens that we're not famous,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I think that we have just as interesting of conversation.
1,000%. And
we don't have millions of fans like the way that they do.
The idea of this famous thing, how do I put this? If you were waiting or seeking out only people with fame, it almost would be like you're clout chasing versus creating your own ecosystem and taking this person, for example, the gentleman that you had that was running for Congress.
Oh yeah.
Dude, you gave him a platform. You guys had an incredible conversation. Mm-hmm. And now he can say, yeah, I was on his podcast.
Oh man, it's all just like, and what I love about it is it's just growing little by little, little by little. Yeah. It's not exploding or anything like that. But what my initial goal was, honestly, just kind of selfishly, I've lost some people along the way.
And you will.
Well, I'm talking about they passed away. My buddy Victor, my buddy Johnny, and my cousin, my uncle. And I always thought to myself, man, if we would have had something recorded.
Sure.
And I started getting that a lot more. I mean, once we get older in life, it starts happening more and more often. And it started making me feel like I need to get this going.
Yeah.
Because, man, I'm very close to my circle. I love them a lot. And my people are my people, and like I said, what's going on. So honestly, it was kind of like for myself, like a little diary for myself.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all. And I was like, man, I could look back at this when I'm 80 years old and I could see myself as a young man, but now what's going on is like my buddy John, how he was on my 3rd episode. And then we had him last week and he was, he's opening up his barbershop.
That's right.
Now.
He's progressed within a short period of time. You're able to share that with him.
And it's, and he's documenting it on his life. And now he's like, he was telling me, man, I'm looking at the episode, man, and I'm tearing up because
that's awesome.
I didn't think that this was going to happen. And we have it documented. Isn't that so weird? Going back to what I was saying, that I had a vision for it. I wanted it to look a certain way. And going back to Kobe, another one, I'm big time Kobe. He says that, the 5 a.m.s and this and that, he says, your dreams will not come true. Something greater will. Mm-hmm. Like if you keep on putting in the work, and this podcast studio and the angles and the lights and everything, it looks better than what I imagined.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And it just, it makes me think that like, man, I'm doing the right thing. And at the same time too, like God is blessing me and he's just like,
I love that.
Hey, keep on doing what you're doing.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm having a blast. Sometimes too, a lot of people are like, hey man, you know how you could get more views and you know how you could this and that. And I'm just like, I'm just kind of enjoying the process.
Do you ever flip it on them?
What do you mean?
Because I used to, I'm telling you, I used to get that too. So you should probably try doing this. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, hey, where's your podcast? Where do I tune in? Oh, I don't have one. Then shut the up.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah, because you have no idea how hard this is and how long it takes. Matter of fact, Joe wasn't even on his 1,000th episode before people started tuning in. Dude. So imagine doing that many of them without as many people tuning in.
Oh man.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yo, dude, I'm at episode 15, and I'm lucky if I crack, hundreds of views, right? At this point. Right. But at the same time too, I'm like, it's gone by really fast. At the same time, I'm like, dude, I could see how 100 episodes can go by like that.
Oh yeah.
You could just keep on going and keep on going.
Absolutely.
Didn't Joe?
That's 2 years.
Oh yeah.
2 years every week. You're done. 200 episodes.
Man, yeah, exactly 52, right? Wasn't Joe like on like a webcam type of thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
If
You
we
look
pull up his old ones, you go, okay, what? But at the same time, there are plenty of times where I will be watching, let's say, a Joe Rogan podcast. He'll have a returning guest on, and he says that, welcome back. Oh, sure. And I go, skirt, let me go to the first one.
Correct. Yeah.
So you'll end up having people, based on the conversations, go back and check out the other discussion.
So I'm on mine. I'm developing playlists and things like that.
There you go.
And I have everybody's stuff and then John, who I had again, and then also my buddies who were doing the Spurs ones.
Yep.
They're all like within the same playlist. So anybody who wants to go back, let me ask you this.
Sure.
Who are your dream guests?
I don't have dream guests yet.
Oh, come on,
I
Mark.
Truly don't. I am I'm open to having conversations with anyone, but I think you said it at the beginning of this. I've got to have some interest.
Sure.
It is very difficult
who are you most interested
fake
in?
the funk type thing.
Oh, without question.
This. You know what I mean?
Man. Yeah. A lot of people are like, hey, interview this guy, man. I know him. And I'm like,
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah. I'm just like, cool. Like, let me look into him and let me whatever.
Right.
But I have 3 people in mind for next week, the week after, and this and that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I'm like,
now I've done that a couple of times, that someone recommended this person, that person. Matter of fact, the gentleman that's on all the billboards.
Thomas J. Henry?
No. If I can't sell your home, no, he's a real Chris Waters. Christopher Waters. He's got billboards all the way up the I-10 corridor. He's on radio commercials, all that jazz.
444?
So the idea was, he had reached out and was like, dude, I saw your podcast. I love it. I'd love to be a guest. I had no clue who he was. I did my research, went home, said, hey, babe, do you know who this Chris Waters guy is? She's like, you mean Waters with 2 T's? So she knew exactly who I was talking about without even saying much. And it turns out that we had an incredible conversation.
So I love, and that's how I started. I tried to start off my podcast like that. Right. I tried to, and I'll tell you the example. When James Hetfield from Metallica is across from Joe Rogan, he's like, what's up, man? And you're just like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? And I wanted to do a thing as if you're just walking into a conversation.
Sure.
But obviously James Hetfield, his reputation precedes it.
Of course.
Big time. You know? So I think it's cool whenever you're talking to somebody for the first time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's a whole natural conversation that happens.
It truly is, especially if you're interested in the overall topic of the conversation. I do believe that there needs to be a topic of discussion versus just a free-for-all. Mind you, I've had some pretty fun free-for-alls, this being one of them.
Sure.
We're talking about anything and everything.
Boom.
With Matt Reyna, baby.
I love it.
Yeah. And I think that there's plenty that can come of these conversations. And for some odd reason, the listeners like these because they don't know what's next.
You know, I have lunch with people sometimes, or it's been happening a lot, or this whole time. And I always say, this could have been a podcast.
Yes. Yes.
I always said that. So it's just a natural thing when I saw it. It was only a couple of things that I've seen. It's like real estate, music. Yeah. I love music. And I'm like, man, I'm going to be involved in music in some capacity.
Right.
And also the podcast. I was like, man, I really, really want to document everything for, I don't know why. I just want to do that. Yeah. Everybody's having a blast with it. And I think that's just the coolest thing in the world, you know?
And, you know, I'm thinking while you were talking, I'm listening, but I was thinking about the question that you asked and who would I want to
I got a curveball after that one too.
Yeah. Okay. I can't wait. And the reason why I don't know if there's any celebrities on my list.
Not celebrities, just anybody.
It has a lot to do with, I might actually be starstruck and be taken out of my own element within that moment, if that makes sense. Because of the stature, etc. I don't know if I want to experience that just yet.
Well, no, man.
Because I've had some conversations with some pretty serious big dogs and no problem. We talk the same language. We've got the same goals. We may not be at the same status, but we're at least able to communicate over the same theories and concepts and whatnot. Sure. Interviewing somebody famous type concept, I'm like, man, I probably could, but it would be like doing it my first time. Well, that's what I feel.
Okay. So, man, I've just been going for it lately, right? Well, I'm a big like metalhead, hardcore fan, stuff like that. There's a post-hardcore band out there. Their name is He Is Legend.
Okay.
They're a top 5 band of mine. I grew up listening to them. I've listened to them for over 20 years, right? And
local or
well, yeah. So that's the thing. They're not as popular or as
mainstream, so
as mainstream as. But I mean, man, they're amazing, you know. And man, I've been listening to that type of music and just music in general all my life. And I'm talking about, Mark, they're like a top 5 band of mine.
Okay.
And I'm talking about, you put them up against Led Zeppelin, like anybody.
Okay.
Top 5.
So it's rock, classic rock, alternative rock?
It's Southern rock.
Okay,
what
cool.
it is. They're from North Carolina. So great, man. And
have you ever seen the movie The Wood? They say North Carolina. Sorry.
So yeah, that's one of my favorite movies.
Same.
Yeah. So yeah, man. And I reach out. And I'm like, hey, man, I have this podcast.
You just straight up reached out?
Hey, man.
Badass.
So, and then also, too, he's like, he tells me, like,
send me an episode.
Yeah, send me a couple of episodes, see kind of what it's all about. And I'm like, whoa, right? So then they're in San Antonio and they always have a meet and greet and stuff like that. Because like I said, man, there's a couple hundred people at their shows.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you some of their stuff. See what you
Please.
think. Yeah. So especially during like a workout or something. And the way that he writes his music, the way that he writes his lyrics, it is so like, you gotta, it's almost like getting into a fairy tale. It's really weird. And then he'll write like from a person's perspective. Like he has different characters that he writes from and stuff like that.
Kind of like Eminem.
Somewhat like that. And there's stories.
Ken Kniff.
Yeah, exactly. They're like stories. They go from album to album. Okay. So if you're a fan of theirs, it's like,
you can follow it.
It's almost like a graphic novel is what it's like. Because then he gets like into like murder and kidnapping and stuff like that. It's real. It's like, it's kind of like a darker tone to it, but it's awesome, man. You need to see it. But anyway, so I'm like, hey, yeah, I'm telling him. So then I see him in person. I'm saying, hey, man, I'm the one who reached out about. But he's like, oh, dude, he's just like, I'll take a look at a couple of episodes and I'll see what's up. Now I've gotten to the point where like I'm just cool with him being cool. Right. You know what I'm saying? But like you were saying about being starstruck, now I don't want to bother him, dude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I just like
I've planted the seed. If it happens to grow, great. If it doesn't, at least I reached out.
And he's being the coolest dude in the world and being like, I'll check them out, man. Like, cool, like keep it up.
Versus just not responding. Period.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm like forever grateful about that. And I'm just like, dude, even if he doesn't do it, you know what I'm saying? Like, cool. That was just
the monkey is off my back.
Yeah. That was just cool for me. But at the same time too, like, I was like, man, it's so crazy that I'm talking about like top 5 for me, man. So it's almost, it means as much to me as a James Hetfield or something like that. So you don't have anybody like that? Like an entrepreneur or an investor?
Man, that's a tough one. Because
Tony Robbins, maybe?
Tony Robbins, I'd love to, but the fucker would probably charge me.
You never know. You never know, man.
And I'm open to having those conversations because I feel like I would ask them questions that they may not be ready for.
That's exactly
makes sense.
What I want to do.
And I'd never want to have a guest that says, hey, here's the questions that you're going to ask me. Oh, really? Yeah, no thanks. Like, that's not how I roll. I never want to have a guest that tries to pay or I have to pay to be on the podcast. That's not what this is about. I'm not trying to make money off of this.
Well, I think they'd also have to have a genuine interest in yourself as well.
Yes, in the topic, in me, in what message we're trying to portray within this platform. Absolutely.
Yeah, like they call it it's called the Joe Rogan Experience, right? Yeah. And I know that his guests, I think Robert Downey said, that's exactly what I want to do. I want to go on there and I want to have the Joe Rogan Experience.
Yes.
He said that. So it's cool whenever you collab like that and everybody appreciates your work as much as you appreciate theirs. And I think that's when you get the lightning in a bottle.
You know what? A couple of names just came to mind now that you said that. Industry people. I'd like to podcast with Nikki Salter that works over at Legacy Mutual.
Okay.
I believe she's a very interesting chick. We've been friends for many years. I would love to interview like a few top realtors that focus only on the $1 million listing type concepts just to pick their brain.
Cool.
I would love to interview some of our people on the other side of the aisle and it doesn't have to be anybody in particular, but I would love to, without getting super political, kind of have a political discussion with some people.
Oh, cool.
Similar to the way that you had your last one with the gentleman that was running for Congress. I thought that was, he wasn't trying to sell you anything. He was just educating.
No.
There's nothing wrong with that. Different perspectives. I'd like to see how this other person thinks, where they come from, not to change them, but to maybe understand where they're coming from and why they think and believe the way that they do.
I got the perfect person.
Does that make sense? I mean, I'm not here to say I'm right. I'm here to say I'm right here and I'm listening.
The art of dialogue is gone, man.
I
know,
agree.
and
it's all hiding behind texts. It's all hiding behind a Facebook posts and comments. And
I was watching something the other day and they were saying, you know, it used to be so like, not like frowned upon, but if you were like super religious, you know, like, and you were like pressing that on people.
Yeah.
But now it seems like what's taken that is your
politics.
Your political affiliations. And
I
they're
don't
like,
disagree with that.
Why is that not as like frowned upon the pushing religion on people is? You see what I'm saying?
It still is and should be. Matter of fact, I've got an example that I would like to show because this just came up. If I can, let's see, how do I do this? Facebook. What was it called? There we go. Real Estate Edition. Now let's see if I can get this to work. Bear with me, guys. We're going to try something new here. QuickTime Player. Then, where's it popping up? New. Hopefully this works. And we want my screen. Nope, it's not. It's not picking up. One more try, one more attempt, and then I'll move on. Boop. Only because you mentioned this. Let's see. Nope, it's not going to work. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this. Oh, it says trust. That. Come on. Nope, still didn't. Oh, well. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to send, because I took a screenshot of it this morning because I thought it was just the most outlandish thing I've seen in quite some time. Alyssa, if you can go to the reference view, I'm going to throw something up on screen. Let's go here and here. Hopefully this doesn't get me in trouble with the YouTube people. Okay, so for those of you that are listening, I've on screen have a post from a group that I'm in called What Would You Do Real Estate Edition. And the post is by an individual. I won't say the name, but you can read it there. It says, what do you think about my marketing campaign? I want to work with people who have the same values as me. And in the picture, if you're seeing this, viewing this, you know who it is. From the audio only, I'm not going to say his name because then they flag this. Anywho, it says, if you vote for DJT, I'm not the realtor for you. I support human rights and basic human decency. So the comments on this are absolutely spot on. You can kill that and then we'll boom. There's one comment at the top that's like, I love this, blah, blah, blah. And then everybody else within the group is going, what are you thinking?
Seriously.
You realize that you're literally cutting out at minimum half of your demographic of potential customers.
Yeah, you're alienating yourself.
Which goes back to your idea of the 2 golden rules that there used to be for social media if you're utilizing it for business, which is don't talk religion, don't talk politics.
No.
And for some odd reason, 2020 came around, 2024 came around, and everybody went, here's what I believe.
Yeah, man. And
don't know why.
And not to mention, I mean, I think everybody's opinion is just overly inflated online as well.
Yeah.
You know, not to mention like the way that you said that first comment, it's like, I don't like the virtue signaling of things.
Same here.
You know what I'm saying?
Same here.
Like if somebody is just, I mean, I don't want to say that they're wrong or anything like that,
Yeah,
but it's
no
just,
need.
it's,
You're wrong for posting something like that, in my opinion. Not what you posted. It is the way that you went about it.
Mhm.
And you're essentially stunting your growth.
Definitely.
Because how do you know that there aren't supporters of that side that would make great clients? You guys get along just fine. Have you once talked to somebody without asking them what their political beliefs were?
Mhm.
I have all the time.
Sure.
That doesn't come up. Why? Because most of us agree on 90% of everything.
Exactly. Yeah. I was telling Marcus, my buddy that's running, I was saying, like, I think we all have the same sentiment of trying to make our community better.
Sure.
We're just on different sides of the aisle, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, when did that become so?
Because of the internet, because what people see, they believe, and there's so much fake out there. I'll give you an example. There is a tragic situation that just occurred recently over the 4th of July weekend.
Okay.
I won't name any names so that we can still keep this going on the podcast on YouTube. But an individual passed away. It supposedly, as of right now, it's ruled as a drowning. And then you've got other people that are literally making up stories nothing has been, there's no autopsy just yet. There's no investigation that has been publicized yet. So they're literally taking nothing and turning it into something to try and get clout, clicks, whatever.
Okay.
I mean, to the point that it's like, yeah, he was killed by his friends and they're trying to hide it. And whoa.
This person who passed away, he was a political figure?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not at all. Just a kid, 18-year-old kid in from college, out partying. Wells is the last name if you want to look it up after this.
Got it.
And the idea is there's no real information out yet. So why are you even, let's stoke the fire with not factual information for what? Because you have a bias? Because you want it to be that? Do you even care about this kid?
For sure.
You know?
Yeah.
It blows my mind.
Well, then you start jumping into the whole like agendas of things. And then
Yes, sir.
the agendas of media sometimes, and the agendas of like other media, like media outlets.
Absolutely.
And who they're like aligned with and things like that.
Follow the money, follow the money, follow the money.
So then what it's doing is it's not even necessarily their job is to, it project the news, the unbiased news.
1,000%.
You know what I'm saying? And that's not what
Another
happens
example.
nowadays.
This is crazy. This is strange that this is happening right now. This discussion. Good friend of mine. Shout out Rick Sanchez. He owns a couple of funerals in town. Very good guy. We talk a lot of politics. He's on one side, I'm on the other. We both love each other. We both respect each other. This morning, he said, "Good morning, brother. Hope you and your family are doing great. I just heard of ground news. Look it up. It covers right and left side. Same story. It covers it and tells you how the right and center to the left are covering it in all places. Thought it was a brilliant idea." I said, "I've been a subscriber since it was published." He said, "How do you like it?" I said, "I like it. It shows where the bias lies and how the news and their coverage isn't really news anymore. It's all opinion and based on ratings. That's why I watch podcasts and YouTube."
Definitely. Yeah, definitely, man. I stopped watching the news, a long time ago.
It's all fear.
Oh, yeah.
It's all, we need to get clicks. We need to get people to pay attention. Well, what do people pay attention to? Tragedy.
Cheeseman.
Absolutely. You got it. Drama and BS that really doesn't help you much at all. Matter of fact, I'd even go as far as to say that the weather is BS too.
Maybe. Yeah, man. It's so crazy nowadays. They were talking about the White House card, the UFC White House card.
Oh, yeah.
And Joe Rogan kind of alluded to something. He goes, it's so crazy too that he said that it was raining and it just missed us, like almost eerily missed us. Like it just kind of
they had control over it.
It wouldn't surprise me nowadays.
Not at all.
I know that they can do it.
I've always said that they should be paid commission because for as much as they're wrong, they would probably find another job.
Mhm.
But hey, that's just me. That's just my thoughts.
Yeah. It's a crazy time that we're living in now, man. And I think you need to kind of look for, well, let me ask you this.
Sure.
I guess like politics and things, how much of it is part of your bandwidth that you're kind of consuming in a day-to-day basis?
I'll be 1000% honest.
Go ahead.
I watch a lot of politics.
Okay.
I pay attention to a lot of politics. I do not put it out there on the podcast like we're doing now, but this to me is a little bit of a special episode. Yeah, I pay attention to both sides.
Mhm.
I was one that was on one side until I got to a certain place in my life, achievement-wise, financially, etc., that I started paying attention to where the hell my money was going. Like, you're expecting me to pay that much, just property taxes alone. I mean, the portion of taxes that goes to the school that I really have this much say in where that money gets used is substantial. Then you're talking income taxes, and that money goes to the big pot that then goes to the other pots that we're finding out that there is fraud over here. This money's going that way. Well, yeah, I start paying attention a little bit more.
Gotcha.
So I'm not one, and I do like to have discussions off script with friends that I know will still respect me after the discussion,
Mhm.
but to see what their views are. Like, why do you think this way?
Sure.
And more times than not, it has a lot to do with life lived experience,
Sure.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You
yeah,
only
definitely.
know what you know until the next time you meet somebody that enlightens you or intrigues you enough that you go do your own research, because it's all there. Let's face it, most of the things that we do and want to know is easily accessible.
You know what? I think a lot of things like people do not do, and I mean, rightfully so. I mean, you can choose to kind of vote or follow or support whatever you want. A lot of people don't take themselves out of the equation.
What do you mean by that?
The way that you said it's life experiences.
Yeah.
So it's for what pertains to me,
That's right.
not for the greater good.
Touche.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I remember like during COVID, I was like, if we all just band together and lock this shit down for like 4 weeks, I think we'd be in the clear.
Yeah.
But everybody's like, no. I want to do this, and that. You know what I'm saying? So
Sure.
everybody's agenda was all pulled different ways because
That's a rabbit hole.
oh yeah.
That's a rabbit hole we can go down.
Yeah.
Because it turns out the people that didn't were probably right.
very true. Yeah, very true. And I mean, it's just like, I don't
The
know.
immune
like-
system went out the window. That concept of immune system.
Well, okay. So you're right. Whenever
Ooh,
It-
I like this conversation.
it ended
Jeez.
up, it ended
I
up
won't go down this all the way.
unveiling itself that way.
Sure,
Right?
sure.
Like, it did. But during that time, I guess is what I'm trying to say is I was like, if we're worried about it getting spread, why don't we just shut this shit down?
Mhm.
Nobody move. Nobody
And that's
leave.
essentially what they attempted to do.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. And everybody was like, no. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know if I'm articulating this point correctly, but I'm just saying, if we're doing things kind of like game theory, if you're doing things in unison
Yeah.
for the greater good of everybody,
Right.
then I think that that's going to progress us a little bit more forward than just being like,
That's
you know
a
what?
slippery slope. And the reason why I say that is because you have things like universal health care.
I was about to say, why am I sounding a little bit more like socialist?
Yes. yes. 1000%. Did the power just go out or we're good? Okay. It was just this. Yeah. It's a slippery slope because these things sound great, but then you have to understand how they work. It's like, okay, free doesn't mean free.
True.
It's being paid by someone. Example, New York. At a certain point, matter of fact, I walked in this morning and I went, Alyssa, did you know that Texas started its own stock exchange? Kaboom.
Whoa.
Kaboom. Exactly. And if you didn't know, now you know. I think it's going to be based out of Dallas. They just established it, etc. And the reason they started it, I don't know if it's the true reason, but the person that I heard it from, pretty credible, they were tired of New York and the way that they are. New York is supposed to be the hub for financial success. You can meet people from international. That's where our money is, all of those things, but they want you to prosper.
Mhm.
Well, if they want you to prosper, why are they then preaching to everyone else? we're going to go and tax the people that are prospering so much, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, wait a minute. You're literally trying to take the money of the successful people. They're not going to stay.
Very true.
Turns out they're not.
Yeah.
So within a certain amount of time, I don't know, this isn't a prediction. It's just what can naturally occur is if you're pulling tax money from people that are well off, we'll call it, and if they get tired of it, well, the mobility is super simple these days. You pick up and you go. New state, new tax laws, the whole 9 yards. You don't have to change your business much.
Joe Rogan was led the charge from California to Texas, and everybody just flocked
quickly,
yeah,
quickly with his group and his following.
Mm-hmm.
And absolutely. Mm-hmm. Now Austin is known as a pretty solid comedy hub.
Sure.
No doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Texas may be soon known as another financial spot, simple, just like the concept of New York. I mean, at a certain point, and then it goes to the idea of, well, if we're raising taxes, the tax law is already in place. Those people left. Who's left to tax? You and me. So are we really getting it free? No, you just kind of pulled the wool over our eyes.
Very true.
Nobody goes that far in the thought process. They just want the right now, nor do they even want the explanation of where it comes from.
Speaking of,
I didn't mean to, but
yeah. So I'm gonna pivot a little bit.
All right, I want like 10 more minutes.
Okay, because I want to get this one in here because I was thinking about bringing it up with my buddy. This.
Hey, I'm glad we did this.
Oh yeah, man, this is awesome. And we've been talking about doing this, right?
Absolutely.
And guys, this is the type of conversation we just have on the regular. So,
yes.
But
welcome in.
Yeah, exactly, right. And I keep on saying all the time, it's already burned a thing with me, but this is exactly what I wanted. But speaking of not even, I think you said a phrase right now, not even knowing where it came from.
Yeah.
How do you like our Charlie Kirk trial that's going on right now?
I'm not paying attention to it.
Oh, you're not paying attention to that?
I am not paying attention to it.
Cool.
And the reason why.
Well, it ties into
the reason why is I'm convinced already.
That what?
That he's guilty. In addition, the others that are denying the obvious are doing it for clickbait. They're doing it to grow their... Matter of fact, I'll give you an example. What is her name? I used to love her. She's so freaking smart.
Candace Owens.
Candace Owens. Mm-hmm. I was a diehard fan of this lady until she started going off the rails.
And was she flipped?
And yeah. And I don't know if she's doing it intentionally or if she truly, truly, truly believes that. But I do know that she's like one of the most sued people in America right now.
Well, she did it after Charlie got killed, right?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
But she is literally denying facts and trying to nitpick on certain things that it's like, come on now. Like, come on. At what point, Candace, is the charade over?
Gotcha.
You're using your intellect for the wrong things. Now, mind you, it's probably pretty profitable. Just like all the race baiting, it's probably pretty profitable, just like the news and them giving us what we want to see, the drama, etc.
When I see sometimes people's takes, especially like I'm big in sports and stuff like that, I'm like, I could tell when they're trying to just kind of get a rise.
Sure.
And I'm just like, he's just being a contrarian. He just wants to go against the narrative. And that's the position that needs to be filled. And therefore, like he just wants a hot take.
Think about this. Before Charlie Kirk, she had a following, strong following. For a good month, all she talked about was Charlie. And guess what? Everybody was watching. And now she's still talking about it. Could you imagine if she just, what is the word, conceded to the fact that that's what actually happened? What else do you have to talk about?
So the narrative that's being painted right now, it's not bothering you whatsoever?
Not at all. Because if I don't see it, what does it matter?
No, like this guy being the lone gunman and it being the 30-06 and it should have like done way more damage to Charlie. And then there's not the back footage. And then he scaled the building and put together the rifle with the screwdriver. None of that bothers you?
That is the part that's not accurate.
Okay.
And they've already proven it.
Oh, okay. Oh, so I'm late to the party.
I don't know. I mean, when you say, are you watching the trial? Well, yeah, I'm watching the facts of the trial.
Gotcha.
I don't put stuff out there until I know the facts. Why? Because there's too much noise.
Correct.
There's way too much noise.
Well,
and you don't know what these people's intent is.
Well, my theory on everything is I think that there's misinformation spread on purpose.
1,000%.
Duh, Matt. No, but I'm saying the official narrative, I believe it's botched on purpose.
Maybe.
And it's because whenever the official narrative was coming out, I was like, dude, if they're trying to they did a sloppy ass job of doing it because this is just total bullshit. But at the same time, too, I'm like, what if they're feeding us bullshit on purpose? So therefore, you can't even get a starting point.
And what if we all are hoping that they're feeding us bullshit so we can say, I told you so that we can continue to watch, continue to tune in, continue to be engaged when, like I said, if the truth is the truth and you concede to it, now what? On to the next.
True.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. But that's the beauty, Mark, of obviously questioning things.
Sure.
Like, how come the crime scene was just filled with cement or whatever the fuck? Like, just,
I get that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just things that are just very, very eerie about it. Then you kind of start going down the rabbit hole. It's almost just kind of like JFK. Like, who has the power to cover it? I'm quoting from
JFK.
I'm quoting from the movie here.
Yeah.
Who had the power to cover it up?
Yeah.
And who benefited the most?
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because unless we're just going to go with the narrative that it's just his kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which seems a little off to me.
It
personally.
doesn't surprise me these days. And the reason being is because of the stuff that we're literally talking about that is being shown on TV, riling these people up that
Correct.
are not okay, that then have the courage or the whatever to do something like that.
Sure.
There's so much of that right now. And there's so much fake. I don't want to say fake. It's
Gaslighting,
inflated. No, not that direction. I'm talking about, how do I put it?
Fluff?
No, not people have kind of antagonized these people into believing certain things that are just not true. For example, I don't even care if the show gets banned, whatever.
No, I need
Trump
this show.
being a racist.
Huh?
I've never thought once that he is a racist.
Okay.
Not once. And there are plenty of celebrities that prior to him being running for president would tell you the same exact thing. Like an Oprah, who was good friends with him until he ran for president. Weird.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Snoop Dogg, he goes back and forth.
Kanye.
But
I had to throw out Kanye out there. Yeah.
I am not the person anymore that feeds into what I see. I'd rather do my own research.
Sure.
And then if somebody asks, like you did, if you've got time, I'll give you my opinion, but don't take my half-ass opinion, because that's almost the same thing as you doing half-ass research by reading headlines only.
Well, yeah, kind of going back to, okay, so like my approach to COVID or whatnot and my thing, right?
He didn't say COVID, he said Ovid.
The vid. And you were like, no, this is, you were like, I was like, or am I sounding a little bit more socialist? And you were like, yeah, because X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And I'm open to that. I'm not like married to, you know what I'm saying? That's what I've kind of noticed about myself in my later years, or like my most recent years. You know, when I was younger, dude, you couldn't like sway me away from a point.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Now I'm just like, maybe, possibly. I'm just more open to a lot of things nowadays. I'm not married to a lot of things.
I think that comes to at a point in time in your life, whether you're 18, 30, doesn't matter. It's same thing with business. You don't think you can succeed until you get into a room with others that have succeeded and compare yourself and go, wait a minute, I know that guy. If he can do it, I can do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It makes it now real versus some far-fetched dream, some far-fetched theory. Now you're getting more information and you're able to apply it to your actual situations versus getting the information, having nothing to apply it to and going, I don't believe that. Okay, because you've never experienced it.
You have more reference points.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
that. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody. None of that. What I'm saying is You grow through what you go through.
Well, you know, I know you're trying to wrap it up, but I can't help but think about is the older generation.
Sure.
And, you know, the assassination of John F. Kennedy and things like that. And you see history kind of repeat itself in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that,
by the way, I was infatuated with the JFK thing.
how do you like the movie?
Which one?
With Kevin Costner.
Love it.
I love that movie.
Such a long, good movie.
It's funny
Back
too.
and to the left.
Yeah. Oh, how about in Seinfeld when they do it? Yeah. So I can't help but wonder the way that, you know, history tends to repeat itself, and the older generations looking at us going through our stuff nowadays, and they're like, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was lied to. I remember when they were trying to pull the wool over my eyes and this and that.
Here's an even bigger one.
Mhm.
UFOs, UAPs. Hello.
Okay, this is my thing. on
Very
that.
strange how so much is now coming out.
This is my thing on that. Like, so they're saying, wow, it's so groundbreaking that the government's all of a sudden admitting this and that.
We're numb to it.
I was like, yeah.
We are numb to it.
I was like, yeah.
And it was probably their intent the whole time.
Not only that, but I'm just all like, is there anybody out there who doesn't believe like that there's UFO?
Touche. Yeah.
Like, dude, you're like, I'm like, y'all are.
You live under a rock. Right.
I think that you know, 90% of people would agree that, yeah, there's something out there.
There's something. Yeah.
At the same time, too, well, like you said, we're numb to it now. I mean, this is 2026, but it's like, big deal or what?
Until one lands on the front lawn,
Bro.
and reality hits, and talk about no toilet paper at the grocery store.
People just get in line. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Real quick, did you ever hear about that landing where those kids in like Southern Africa?
Yep.
I
Talking about
always
the school kids that drew it, and they all drew the same thing.
All of them.
Absolutely.
Everything like that.
Dude, this is the kind of stuff that keeps me up at night.
Okay, so yeah,
When I'm not lending money, I'm UFO researching.
I've always kind of wondered that about you too, because
I go down the deep holes.
I don't know if you saw on my other one, I was saying documentaries are my thing. Like,
Same.
I just
always have been since I was a little kid.
Yeah, it's so weird too, and I think that's why this ties into it so much, because I'm interested in people's stories,
Sure.
and I'm interested in people's perspective and things like that. Dude, I could watch a documentary on like tennis.
Yeah.
Or boat racing.
Correct.
Or whatever. I don't know why that's just my thing. And a lot of people find it real boring. And I'm just like,
Those are the people that read headlines and formulate their opinion.
yeah,
Unfortunately.
that's true.
And here I'll go even a step further, and you guys can hate me now, but I won't stop now. There are way more of that than the other.
Definitely.
Unfortunately,
Mhm.
fortunately, which way you want to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. So now I remember like,
Especially, you seen the movie Idiocracy?
I have not. What is
Man,
that? What is that?
Watch that movie. It's happening right now.
What is it?
Idiocracy is a movie where they go into the future, and in the future, we're all a bunch of dumbasses. Why?
Oh, wow.
Because of technology, because of this, because of that. We just become dumber, and the dumber people procreate more than the not so dumber people. So if you got 2 people dumb procreating, you've got now 3, now 4. Now we're just, and it like articulates that
Joe Rogan
perfectly.
Joe Rogan has a good bit about that, and it's a bit from like the 90s, I think. And he's like, is anybody looking after these people, the smart ones?
Yeah.
Like the people that invented the microphone, or like, he's like, are we making sure that they're safe right now?
Correct.
Because like, these are the people that need to procreate with the other smart people to kind of take us into the next generation. He just saw like, what's in here? Loud shit? I don't know. You're like,
Exactly.
He's like, what's in that light bulb?
That's
Bright
Idiocracy.
shit? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
matter of fact, to go even further, what's the guy's name? Terry, black dude that's always bouncing his pecs and like white
Terry
chicks. Is it Terry Crews?
I believe so.
Okay. He's the president. President Camacho.
Gotcha.
So we will end with that. But what this discussion kind of alludes to is the fact that we should do this more often.
Hell yeah.
Maybe even move this off to a separate podcast.
I was
going
gonna
to
say,
let loose.
I was going to say, I don't know if I
enjoyed
could.
this
I don't know if
thoroughly.
I could hang with your other guests that are talking about strictly,
Most of the time it's all business. It's all real
all
estate, it's
business.
finance.
Mhm.
This was refreshing. Truly. So Anthony, thank you for allowing this to occur, man. Really appreciate that. Other than that, Matt, thank you for joining me as always. Thank you for continuing to stick to your word and showing up when you say you're going to be there. I appreciate that more than you even know.
My pleasure, brother. For
those of you out there listening, we have LoanBot AI that has launched. We just incorporated the pipeline view for loan officers to keep track of their deals, to tag realtors, to track their loan partner, communication, tracking, all that good stuff. It's all leading to needle moving activities to grow your business. Visit loanbot.com. But we will continue to bring you conversations similar to this one. This is a rare occurrence, but we appreciate you guys for tuning in. I think we're literally 50 subscribers away from 60,000. So if you know somebody that's getting something out of this or that could get something out of it, please make sure to share with them. Yeah, go for it.
If they want to see more conversation like this, they can head to mine.
There you go.
So,
and also make sure to tune in to Anything and Everything with Matt Reyna. He's also on all podcast platforms, including YouTube, where you can see that handsome face of his. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in.
At the end of every day, look at yourself in the mirror and ask, did I get better today? Monday, get better. Tuesday, get better. Wednesday, get better. If you do that for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, how much better will you be? Are you getting better every single day? That's the real question. And it all comes down to taking small steps. You don't have to accomplish everything in one day or even 1 week. Just focus on getting a little better every single day.